What's going on, everyone? We have lots to discuss today about the recent scenario that's unfolding as we speak. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to let everyone join. I just posted to my story. I'll post to my channel now that we are live indeed. So holy cripenumber. Things are really kicking off. I don't really see this one being talked about as much as the, I guess because it hasn't been actualized yet. But this is a bigger deal than during COVID, I can tell you that. We are live now on Rumble. Come watch. I guess I can send the link to the actual thing. What's going on, everyone? Boom, bang, bing. Oh, shit skis. Oh, cripers. Hold on a sec. I gotta get a handle on some of the. Oh, we broke 1,000 followers on Rumble. That's freaking awesome. Okay, so hold on. I'm gonna post this here. Guys, comment below where you're tuning in live from. That's weird. So that takes you to that. What's with that? Oh, I'll just get the link. I'm live now. That was yesterday. There we go. Hey Shane, did you see my comment from yesterday's video? No. Which comment? Sunfilled Air. Let me know what comment you're talking about. I can definitely address it, but I don't recall seeing it. Let me know. There we go. What's going on? Sunfilled. It's just me and you in here and 4 others. Yeah, we have some crazy stuff kicking off. I'm choosing to know how exactly this all unfolds. This could be a very hairy scenario with the trade war that's going on. Honestly, what do we got here? If I do 1. Good morning, Chocolala. Good morning, Laura. How's it going? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, let me know, Sunfilled Air, which one you're talking about. Guys, so a lot of crazy stuff's kicking off. So you saw the pictures I shared. It's like a flight radar, but instead it's for boats. And let's just say there's not too many boats floating around, which are supposed to be floating around, supplying goods to the United States. This is a shocking scenario, and it again, the supply chain, when it gets disrupted, it takes time to for it to fully come to fruition, so to speak. So what we have essentially is a little bit of a lull before this thing turns into something else, which is that what Walmart has no stuff because all their stuff comes from China. That is the problem with us being dependent on any other country to provide our goods and whatnot. My order, can you check on it for me? It shows that it's still in Georgia since I placed the order. Last update. Really? Sunfilled Air, that's strange. That's not supposed to be. It should have shipped by now, like way by now. In fact, you should be almost getting it right now. There's 2 things we can do. Either you can send me your order number and I can send it to Chalk and ask them for an update, or you could go on the website and give your order number and ask for an update, or you can email, or you can call, or you can text to get an update and to get them to look into it for you. Or I can forward it for you. Totally up to you, Sunfilled Air. If it hasn't shipped yet, I'll get them to open your box and put an additional something in it for free, but it should have been shipped by now. So that is strange. Maybe the thing's not updating. Because yeah, it's usually like next day shipping. William Diaz, what's going on, man? We got lots to discuss about this trade war. So if you remember during COVID, the shipping action was so messed up that I know a guy who his truck was messed up. And it was because of the emission system, which, if you know anything about the emission systems of vehicles today, it's a total scam by the EPA to basically control you more. It doesn't save the environment. It's a total make work project. But the thing is that he was on like a 6 week or 2 month or something waiting period to be able to fix this to get this part because it came from China. So his truck was inoperable because he couldn't get this part. It's from China. Well, that was only a minor delay, according to what may be on the horizon here with this current delay. Mike Alpha said, "What are you selling?" Well, Sunfilled Air bought last week or a few days ago. I think she got the Chadmo. That's the all natural pre workout / energy drink that has blue spirulina in it, which detoxes heavy metals, microplastics, pesticides, contaminants. It looks beautiful and green. I mean blue rather, and super good for you. Binds to free radicals, microplastics even, and it's delicious. 150 milligrams of organic caffeine per scoop. What we're doing today, specifically ahead of this supply chain collapse, is giving people a 26% off lifetime discount on any subscription or bundle. And if you send me your order number, you get a free $89 bag of the chocolate powder as well, which is delicious, detoxing, super good for your pineal gland. And the number one supplement for men is that Chalk Daily that boosts total testosterone 21% in 90 days. It's also super pro fertile. It's critical to be detoxing in today's world with all the stuff we're exposed to. You probably have already seen many of my posts about it, but it is shocking that a lot of people haven't detoxed or aren't taking superfoods. We talk to people every day who have never even heard of a superfood or ask, what is that? What constitutes one? And, you can, once you do enough research, there's a number of them that are excellent to be implementing from all the stuff we're exposed to. So Chalk Daily, number one supplement for men. If you subscribe to any supplement or bundle and you use that coupon code 26life, you get a free $100 bag, almost $89 bag of the chocolate powder included in your order. I just need your order number to send to Chalk. Mike said, do you support the new elected governor, Nick? Oh, you almost got me, dude. Mike Alpha, what the fuck's going on, dude? You trying to get me to say that on a live? I've already fell for that once, except it was a guy's username, and it was Nick. His first name was Nick, and his last name was Her. And anyway, that was on Instagram Live. That's another reason why I don't go live on Instagram. It's too sus, man. You can get your whole account affected real quick. Mike Alpha, you should do that. You should do that trick to people who are just cringy glue bags doing live feeds, like streaming video games or something. Not on a post that's talking about not on the live feed of someone talking about the future of humanity and the evil agendas that befall us, and the depopulation agenda. I mean, dude, not the right guy to try to throw under the bus, man. But yes, that is the crazy thing. And then on top of that, because all these car parts are from China, but Mexico, interestingly, their shipping ports are still bumping right now. They're full of boats boating around, transporting goods, but many thousands of them are parked because they're waiting on confirmation. Can they deliver? Can they not deliver? Are they waiting for a green light? It's interesting because the plan was supply chain disruptions, but then you have Trump doing this tariff thing that causes the supply chain disruption. I can't help but think it's somehow part of the plan. Sunfilled Air. Yeah, okay, let me know. DM me after this live, Sunfilled Air, just so I can make sure to assist you in any way. Again, you could DM me your order number, say, can you please look into this, and I'll forward it to Chalk right away. The website should be loading though. What did you say? I tried on the website, but it gives me the same info. Oh, you tried tracking it and it wasn't updating? Yeah, we'll see. We'll check into that for sure. I'll make sure that it's on its way to you because it's usually like next day shipping, quick shipping, fast shipping, sometimes faster than Amazon. But yes, everyone comment who's on the live, where you're at. JLove420, what's going on, man? I remember you. I said man, but don't mean to assume your gender. What else is going on? We have plants that are apparently much more aware and conscious than we may know. They have basically a form of brain that we didn't really know existed, interestingly. David Icke will never be on Joe Rogan because Joe Rogan doesn't want the truth about lots of things coming out. You guys saw that video. Oh, RFK. Did you guys see the video? This girl in the audience of Dr. Phil asks him about the stratospheric injections of aerosols, which if you know what those are, that is a shocking happening that's going on. We're being sprayed by all kinds of crazy stuff. M. Nora, what's going on, M. Nora? MN, I know exactly who you are. Come on. Let's see the live. Okay, but that is okay. How many people are watching on Rumble right now? Because something is it's cool. I'm not a man, but how would you know? Well, exactly, J Love. I should have psychically detected harder because many times I can do just that. William Diaz, what's going on, man? Everyone comment where you're tuning in from right now. I know MN is in Ottawa, I think. Let me know. What's the David Icke thing? What's the David Icke that NG? I saw that Texas Food Systems. It says 27 people are watching live. I guess I'll believe it when I see it because well, I see it now, so maybe that is accurate. It's just the thing I'm going live on now says there's 19 people, and yesterday it was counting views as opposed to concurrent views. Concurrent is someone's watching live. Non-concurrent is someone watched it for a second and it counts as a view. Anyway, we'll figure that out. Adam says people are being sprayed like bugs, but don't question. Adam, dude, it is the most shocking thing that is going on today. That's the elephant in the room. And from my understanding, RFK is like the only one who's even acknowledged it. Everyone else, they're getting us to argue about this, that, and the other. Oh, this crazy thing's going on. Like, dude, even the trade war, while it is a shit show and the tariffs and everything is crazy, the craziest agenda is that we're being sprayed. And it's every day. And no one's doing anything about it. What can we do? Well, it would be enough of us have to know about it first and foremost. I remember telling my a family member that they're modifying the weather. And every once in a while, when you're talking about true things, but that are kind of scary, like it is scary the thought of that we're breathing in micro nanobots and nano-sized conductive metal particles and self-assimilating nanobots. That is a bit of a shocking thought. But I didn't even drop that. I just said that they're modifying the weather and then they're blaming it on us in order to be able to push forward this climate change agenda, which is restricting your rights and freedoms under the guise of saving the climate. Anyway, so I said to him, they're modifying the weather, and he was like, I elicited a like visceral reaction from him, which was that of like, you're fucking crazy. Like, he literally thought that I'm an idiot and a crazy idiot for thinking that they're spraying us every day with these trails modifying the weather and that it's a part of this grand agenda. Because what the average normal sheep thinks is that um, the average normal sheep thinks they're just condensation trails. The person who thinks for themselves sees the planes go by spraying something and then the sky gets white and then there's no more blue sky and then the weather changes. That's what a normal observant smart person with a decalcified pineal gland would notice with their own eyeballs that they are spraying every single day. But anyway, so it pissed him off. Like, he's like, you're fucking crazy. And I'm thinking, and then I said, look, you can look up, there is 500 weather modification patents on Google. 500. You can look it up. Weather modification patents, there's a huge list. There's treaties. Do you know of the weather modification treaty between the US and the United and Canada? So there's a treaty about, yeah, you can spray over us, we can spray over you. And it's not, this is the biggest selling point. Shut up, Delhi. Um, the biggest selling point that makes someone convinced or should convince them that they are spraying is that why would corporations and governments spend billions of dollars, probably trillions, over 90 plus years developing these patents for a technology they don't intend on using? That is the question. Because that's what we have here with the 500 weather modification patents is proof that they are clearly doing something interesting, choosing to do something interesting, and it's not just for fun that they're developing these patents. Hold on, let me block this fucking moron. Shut up, Delhi. There we go. I love, man, when you block someone when they're mid typing, it reminds me of that meme where the guy's like half frozen in stone, like running through a stone wall, but his half his body is still in the wall. That's what it's like when you block someone when they're still typing. Oh, jeez. How do I? There we go. What about the UK? Yeah, I know. And then which should be validating and vindicating for everyone, the UK announces plans to experiment on dimming the sun. Oh, geez. I could have sworn they were already doing that. It's all a big confusion, man. It's all a big thing to confuse and gaslight the people who are awake. Like, they literally are trolling the people who are awake. 100%. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. With some of these new laws they're passing and just some of these hit pieces in the media, it's clear that they are trolling the people who see through the agenda 100%. We're going to try dimming the sun. First thing, it's barely fucking sunny in the UK anyway. It's always cloudy. So they're going to dim the sun to save the climate. Yet that's very shocking because what is it going to look like when they're dimming the sun? Oh, well, they're going to be spraying. Dude, you can see them spraying already every single freaking day in the first place. So it's like nothing's going to change other than now, if you say they're spraying us, they'll be like, yeah, but it's safe. Look at this news article. Because the news article says, like, don't worry, like, it's totally safe. We're not spraying you with anything dangerous. Did we get to vote on this? This is fucked up, man. This is where it gets into the realm of this is where it gets into the realm of like science fiction and dystopia because we didn't get to vote on it. Like, I do not consent to breathing in whatever the hell you're spraying. I don't. But yet they're doing it anyway. Now, are they spraying because shout out to Randy Arsenault? Are they spraying because uh or are they able to spray because they've gained our consent because we're not rejecting it? That's the question because a lot of times that's how it works, right? It's called informed consent. They inform you by telling you they're doing it, but then you consent by not rejecting it. And that seems to be at least what's happening right now is that that's what they're doing. So it's very shocking, man. And it would be excellent. It will be excellent when they stop spraying. When will that be? When enough people are pissed off about it, when enough people say enough's enough, when enough people realize that it's even going on, when enough people aren't like my one family member who said, you're effing crazy. Because now it's like, no, I'm not crazy. They're spraying us. But again, they've been gaslit into thinking, well, they are spraying. It's called moving the goalposts. They are spraying us, but it's safe and it's to save the climate. Can you freaking believe that? It's shocking. Now, if that doesn't indicate to you the importance of, I looked this up years ago and there's even more info on it now. I won't say I looked it up. I discovered, like, people sent me stuff. This is the coolest thing about having a big page. People send you cool stuff all the time. I saw and researched and listened to videos and posts and shit people sent me. And without trying to scare you, dude, their plan is to merge human consciousness with artificial intelligence. Apparently, one of the biggest ways they're doing it is that in the trails that we're breathing in, unfortunately, and I know many of you may already know this, but unfortunately, there is apparently nano-sized, self-assimilating nanobots in the trails. So little ass microchips that are intelligently designed to build themselves in your body, and they're trying to make you have a synthetic nervous system. I know it's shocking sounding. It's like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Is this real? And the bad news is that, yes, it seemingly is. And this is why you drink the Chad mode. This is why you take the Shilajit, to detox this stuff out of you. This is why every day on the live and even off the live, I'm drinking the Chad mode. You got to go stack wood, cut up a tree, drink Chad mode. You got to go driving. I couldn't imagine driving now midday without drinking a Chad mode. I wouldn't leave the house without a extremely bright blue Chad mode ready to go, because not only is it detoxing you, it's delicious, and it gives you 150 milligrams of organic caffeine per scoop. It is a total superfood, and you feel like $1,000,000 taking it. And then, which I did this morning, was a double dose of the Shilajit, because yesterday they were spraying. Shilajit binds to free radicals, microplastics, nanoplastics, heavy metals, and all kinds of contaminants. And it's pro-fertile. Yeah, that's true, Texas Food Systems. That's true. Fuck, don't even get me started on that. 100%. If you guys are watching on Rumble, which I recommend, Texas Food Systems just dropped a freaking golden. It's not good news, but it's true that there's other things that contain that, you can say, which is horrifying. Now, again, the Shilajit has something called C60 in it, carbon 60. It's a fullerene molecule. It's a molecule that basically has been proven to lengthen telomeres, which has anti-aging effects. So if you're taking the Shilajit, not only are you detoxing, you're calibrating your endocrine system. You know how many thousands of endocrine disrupting chemicals are in the food and water supply now, thankfully. I say that sarcastically. Shout out to Sunfill there because she already bought chalk. It's literally in the mail. It's going to be at her house in any moment. Yeah, Randy, I don't know. We're kind of fucked in that way. We got to talk about that, dude. But just so you guys know, on this live specifically, and shout out to JLove420. JLove, let me know if you've taken chalk before, by the way. I know Randy has. Randy, give someone, if you can write 2 things about what you noticed taking your chalk, comment it below so someone else can see that this is actually a real thing and the benefits are profound. Now, hold on a second. Anyone who orders on this live, if you use the coupon code 26life, you get a lifetime 26% off discount on any subscription or bundle. Shout out to J Love, Pure Blood Gang. Lifetime discount, and then come back to the live and comment your order number, and I'm going to send it to Chalk to get you included for free to try the Chalk Lit Powder, which is organic cacao from Bolivia. It has compounds in it which stimulate the production of stem cells, which, again, talking about detoxing the trails, stem cells repair damaged tissue and damaged cells. Stem cells and antioxidants detox and bind to free radicals, contaminants, heavy metals, and more. It's one thing to know about Michelle Obama and her secret and all these other agendas, but you got to be detoxing. You got to be boosting your system naturally and calibrating your endocrine system. Not only does it feel like it literally, when you start detoxing, when you decalcify your pineal gland, it feels like, at least how my experience was, it felt like everything was brand new. It feels like a new leaf has been turned. When you decalcify your pineal gland, it's a new world, dude. 100%. Things are sharper. Your mind is working more efficiently. Your memory is better. You have more vivid dreams. These are just some of the benefits of decalcifying your pineal gland, which you can do by drinking the Chad mode. Not to mention, by getting yourself the Chad mode or the male vitality stack or the female stack and getting the free lit powder as well, you're helping support the channel and our ability to share all this critical info and fight the Illuminati, which you may think, isn't a better way, like maybe protesting or something? Most protests are fake anyway. The main thing is that we're sharing the information. Who's the guy who wrote the pen is mightier than the sword, man? 100%. Think about the protest they had in Serbia when it was a silent protest. Everyone was completely quiet, standing around, silently protesting the devious plans that they had ahead of them. It's shocking. Randy said, literally, chalk will change your life. Way more energy, like the same energy you had when you were a kid. Sleep way better. Thoughts are clearer, and the list goes on. Shout out to Randy, guys. Randy is a freaking badass, man. Randy's got the Chad mode. He's in Quebec. I believe he has other superfoods as well, probably the Chalk Daily, which contains cacao extract, by the way, which increases microcirculation and blood oxygenation. So super good, dude. I couldn't imagine going back because at one point I had plateaued. I knew about GMOs, fluoride, and the trails in the sky, and I had plateaued. I didn't know about detoxing. I didn't know about superfoods. I barely knew about the pineal gland. And now it's like I couldn't imagine not taking superfoods. And I notice a huge difference too. If I take a break for some reason, which I haven't really done in a long time, but you can tell when you're not taking chalk because you just get a little bit more sluggishly, in a different vibe. Whereas when you're taking the chalk, it boosts your frequency, dude. If we had a frequency device that could measure electromagnetic frequency, you would have a higher frequency 100% when you're taking chalk because it detoxes the shit out of you that lowers you. Texas said, do you have activated charcoal? Do you take activated charcoal too? I have charcoal for emergencies. Like if you had food poisoning and you took a bunch of charcoal, that absorbs the bacteria and neutralizes the toxin. You'd never have food poisoning again. I wish my mom knew that when one time, I still remember my worst food poisoning case. I was just up all night puking, but you could have taken some charcoal. It absorbs the shit and you'd be all right. I remember too when we all went to the same fast food joint, me and my two brothers, and all three of us puked after we ate there. And my mom called. She's like, "Hey, I don't know what's going on, but all three of my boys just puked after eating your fucking burgers. What the hell? You guys not wash your hands? It's freaking gross, man. I barely eat out anymore because not only all the everything's fake and toxic, but also who's the freaking person cooking it? Because if they don't have a high frequency too, that can, as you know, affect the vibration of the food. Someone's gonna say, "You're an idiot, man," but no, seriously. Um, Shout out to Randy, man. Cheers to the Chad mode. Cheers, guys. But yes, so answer that, and then hold on a second. Stand by. Boom, bang, bang. Yeah, comment. Okay, so we have 40 people on Rumble, which is freaking awesome, dude. We just broke 1,000 followers on there. Um, we have so much more to discuss. Again, we're gonna have a better setup in like a week here once the fiber optic comes in. We'll get there though. The other thing I wanted to say, yo, William Diaz, what's up, man? Is everything okay, William Diaz? Comment below if everything's okay, dude, because it seems like you have like what the hell are you? What's going on, man? Is your phone glitching or what's going on? Rudolph, shout out to Rudolph's World. Rudolph's World, comment below what chalk you've taken. Remind me. Rudolph said, "What are your thoughts on borax?" I honestly don't really know much about it. We have like a bunch of boxes of it, but I forget what it's for. Like it can clean things. It's natural. It's non-toxic. Oh yeah, that's what we do. It goes into the laundry soap, and as opposed to Tide, which, as you know, is toxic. Don't ever use the. If I ever find out any of you are using that toxic laundry soap, laundry detergent, and I smell it on you, I will be. There's nothing worse, man. Well, there are many things that are worse, but I guess you'd say it's a first world problem. But dude, those freaking neurotoxins in the laundry detergents and soaps and whatnot are horrifying. I have a friend named Jackie. She may even be live with us right now, but she had eczema her whole life and then realized when she changed her laundry detergent, her eczema stopped. So she had just been poisoned her whole life by the chemicals. She was hypersensitive to the chemicals in laundry soap. And Rudolph's World says, I take them all. Rudolph is taking all of the chalk, guys. Holy Kreipenheimer. Rudolph, what are you currently subscribed to? Let me know. Rudolph is her dog's name, by the way, guys. When I see Rudolph's World, though, I think that's lovely because that reminds me of Rudolph Diesel, the inventor of the diesel engine. So, anyways, she stopped using the conventional laundry detergent, which is toxic, and all of a sudden, her problems went away. And then she joined some like women's group or some group with a lot of women in it, and it was like a toxin exposure group or something like that. Anyway, she did some research, dude. There is trace narcotics in laundry detergent. Can you believe that? Laundry detergent. And to make you chemically addicted to it. Toxic. I was annoyed with something that was Canada's fault because I live in the far, far burbs. Closest city is Ottawa, 40 minutes away. So Canada charged me extra. Yes, I know, Nora. That was freaking BS, man. I mean, they can pick and choose whatever they want with what percentage they want to charge. I remember once I told you I bought a bunch of organic clothes from the States, and the duties were like 50%. So 50% more. It was shocking. But like I said, at least you got the freebies, the discounts, and boom, bang, bing, Nora. But yeah, and again, anyone in Canada who voted Liberal, uh, I have to say you are 100% part of the problem. And we're only going to see more taxes and more bullshit in the next 4 years. There's going to be more tampons in men's bathrooms. Um, our cities are going to get more and more crowded with less housing. It's going to be a complete shit show. Look at Nora. She said, I had a super polite man reach out and made it better. No company does this. Like out of own pocket, made it better. Nora, I know exactly who you're talking about. And he is one of our top freaking guys, man. Jack Henry. Amazing. Absolutely awesome. So you got it covered. Oh, I saw the stupidest post ever. And she said, Oh, Canada has made the right choice with our new leader. Oh, man. Oh, Tim. Okay, it could have been Tim. That's freaking awesome, Nora. Tim is another absolute beauty. In fact, Tim, Sunny, if you're on here still, aka Laura, will know Timmy Turtle. Uh, Absolutely freaking awesome. So M Nora, she got her chalk. She got a bunch of lit powder. Nora, how's the Chad mode? Did you get your Chad? Yeah, you got your order. Did you get Chad mode? I forget. Or did you just order a bunch of Shilajit? I know you ordered Shilajit for your mom. Again, guys, think about your family members. If you give your parents the hot water purified Shilajit, their memory is going to improve. Their energy levels are going to be boosted. Your heavy metals will be detoxified out of you. I can't imagine a better gift for family. And then for guys, the Tomcat 100 boosts free testosterone 87% in 21 days. Clinically studied. It's not, well, it might benefit you. Oh, damn, look, I'm out of Tomcat. I got to get a new bottle. But yes, absolutely potent. It's life changing, man. If you start all of a sudden start taking a bunch of superfoods, the difference is profound. Let me take a couple Action 2.0. That's the number one heart supplement. I got my dad taking Action because his heart and liver were gimped a little bit there. But yes, it is shocking. Comment below if you're also tuning in from Canada. We have to discuss what's going on here. We might have to flee the country. I'm taking a double dose of the Action 2.0. Mm. Interestingly, too, in the Action, there's something called rhodiola rosea. And rhodiola comes from the Siberian mountains, the Altai Mountains, rather. And it's another form. It's basically a type of Shilajit, man. It's so freaking good for you. The hormone optimizing effects of it. And by the way, so we have 40 people watching on Rumble right now. Comment below if you think the reason more people aren't commenting on Rumble is because they're watching live, but they haven't made an account. Because guys, if you make an account, we can do like a real time Q&A. We could do freaking all kinds of crazy stuff on Rumble. In fact, if more people join on Rumble, we can go live just on Rumble, and then I can really tell you guys what's going on because Rumble is completely uncensored. Whereas I'm on YouTube here, and I don't want to lose my YouTube channel by exposing the true details of their satanic plan on humanity. But this is centuries in the making, by the way. The Titanic was an inside job. Comment below if you know about the Titanic. That might be a new one for Nora. Nora, do you know about the Titanic? Comment if you do, because there's something to do with the Titanic we can talk about. Thanks so much. Someone's DMing me right now. Shout out to Mr. Hold on. Tracy, rather. Mrs. Tracy. Shout out to Tracy. So, anyways, what else do we got going on? Oh, yes. This is for anyone who lives in a city. This is for anyone who lives in a city, or even if you're in a small town, anyone who lives near any cell tower. Okay. If you look into this is shocking. Listen, if you look into what the towers are capable of, um, the cell phone towers, the frequencies that are emit from them, pokes holes in your blood-brain barrier, and it makes your brain more like a it pokes holes in the blood-brain barrier, which makes the heavy metals, the nanometals that they're spraying in the trails, go directly into your brain, which is the entire plan to fill your brain with heavy metals. It's a devious plot, man. I'm sorry to be the bearer of freaking bad news. Shane, you need to flee the West. The conscience people in the world to retreat and regroup in a new country so we can build utopia from a distance at a fast rate because it's all conscious people working. That's actually a pretty good idea. Rock, hold on. How do I do this? Rocket Talk, Rocket Elk, Rocket Elk, rather. That's a good idea, man. It's a matter of, do you bloom where you're planted, or do you flee and plant a new forest of plants? You know, that's the question. It's a serious, serious idea. What do we do with the scenario that's a beef? But here's the thing, dude. My understanding is you can't really. There's nowhere to really run. Seemingly, there's nowhere to go because this plan is like all encompassing. Like they're spraying in freaking every country in the world is being sprayed. I still remember when I went to Grenada or sorry, Cuba. They're spraying trails in Cuba above everyone's heads, 100%. I remember being in any country I've went to, the States, freaking, uh, where else did I go? Mexico, Cuba, Dominican, Costa Rica, all those places spray. So it's a global agenda, and you could go to Street View. Fuck, man, in Africa they're spraying. For some, they do concentrate the trails in Europe. It seems though, Europe and America, basically the Western world, seemingly they really want these people affected. Patriot Street Fighting Wife said, "Are we going to talk about the trade wars or other stuff you're doing? I don't have time to listen if it's about the health related stuff I already know about. Not trying to be rude, but I'm on my lunch break." Okay, hold on a second. Patriot Street Fighting, I absolutely will talk about the trade war. My first question to you is though, what are you eating for lunch? What are you eating for lunch? I appreciate you being on here. And yes, sorry, Patriot, like if this was a concentrated video, like specifically a video, I could make a concentrated information on all the info I have available about the trade war. But it is in fact a live, which generally covers a range of topics. But I totally understand, and I'm grateful that you're spending your lunch break with me on a live feed on Rumble. Freaking awesome, Patriot Street Fighting Wife. I already know this chick could probably kick all your asses, man. Patriot Street Fighting Wife. What the hell does that mean? She's a street fighter. She's a patriot. Don't fuck with her. But what are you eating for lunch? That is my first question. Then I'll tell you about how China will doom us completely. No, I'm just kidding. But that is part of the plan. Let me know, Patriot. um, Texas Food Systems is rescuing rabbits right now. That's why she's not commenting. Freaking awesome. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, the thing is that I really want to know what she's eating for lunch. I want to know the source and the quality and everything. And you may be wondering why. Well, I'll tell you about what's happening with China, and it is shocking. But I find that a lot of health stuff is so mundanely over talked about and overplayed that a lot of people are like, yeah, like health schmelth, you know? But dude, there's a lot that people don't like. For example, white vinegar. You may be eating pickles one day and you're thinking, pretty clean ingredients. Well, first thing, in our countries in the West, in the United States and Canada, they have artificial food dyes in it. But white vinegar is from genetically modified corn. If you get white vinegar is from genetically modified corn, if you can believe that. So that's what a lot of people are being exposed to. And if you know about GMOs, I mean, the rabbit hole of GMOs goes so deep. There's infertility causing DNA segments in it. There's brain altering genetic sequences in it, which is designed to alter the state of consciousness of those that consume it. Think about it. If you are what you eat and you're eating genetically modified food, dude, your DNA is being altered. And furthermore, and you're not being rude at all, by the way, Patriot. Furthermore, think about this for a second. If we know that Monsanto is suing farmers in India and in Canada and in the US. Organic farmers are being sued because a genetically modified because their GMO pollen is going into it's being cross pollinated into other crops and whatnot. Then you have to think about this. So basically, a GMO plant is growing and its pollen goes into the air, and then an organic plant picks up that pollen and then it spreads, right? Well, then all of a sudden you have that organic plant that has a trace amount of genetically modified DNA sequence in it, which then Monsanto goes and claims ownership over the whole plant. This is how they were able to take over India's food supply and stuff, because they went and sued farmers who had the cross pollination of GMO pollen, right? Chocolella, has it really been glitching? It should be good. But anyways, my point is that if we're eating GMOs and GMOs contain DNA sequences that Monsanto owns, and we're eating and you are what you eat, dude, I wouldn't put it past them to have inside of genetically modified food some DNA sequence that makes an imprint in your own DNA. And what that would result in is them owning you by technicality. I know it's a shocking thought. And, you know, then you don't have what, I don't know, as much freedom, or they think that they actually own your person. I mean, it's shocking. It's a horrifying thought, but this is again why you don't want to be eating GMOs. But I feel like a lot of people are eating GMOs but don't know. That's why I do like to expose it. But if you're on Instagram trying to expose contaminants like that, like, dude, GMOs are safe in the eyes of the mainstream. Genetically modified food is safe, but to me, it's one of the biggest linchpins in the Illuminati's plan is to take over the food supply with genetically modified food and um, gimp your entire fertility and your DNA sequence with these strange things. This is why I loved 2016, because there was March Against Monsanto protests globally, and I'm talking people, like hundreds of thousands of people march against Monsanto. Do you guys remember? Huge protests. Um, Sunfilled Air said, he says water isn't a human right, it's a commodity. He thinks we should be allotted a certain amount of water. Doesn't think car washing or swimming pools are a good thing. Dude, okay, so here's a theory slash conspiracy slash shocking fact about our world that they don't tell you about. Did you know that there's something called the primary water cycle? The primary water cycle is basically within the Earth's crust, okay, deep underneath the ground, is an unlimited amount of fresh water, clean fresh water. And what they would like you think, what they'd like you to think is that there's a finite amount of water and we're running out of water and it's going to be a total shit show. There's going to be water wars and all this. But the water on the surface of the earth is only the secondary water cycle, which is, has a lot to do with precipitation and from rain and everything, right? But the primary water cycle, this is what Gaddafi tapped into in Libya. In Libya, Gaddafi went and drilled into the ground and created the Great Man-Made River Project, which was supplying 6 billion gallons of water a day to the ocean. And he was making them be able to grow all kinds of stuff like an oasis in the middle of the Libyan desert, like the Sahara Desert. So shocking. Nora said, I got the Chad mode, I got the Irish Moss, and the full female 3-pack. I got the Shilajit. Freaking amazing, Nora. Nora, by the way, is there like a delay on Rumble, or did you just get around to answering that question? Because I did ask that rather like 10 minutes ago. But let me know if there was a delay, or if you just took your time on answering. That's fine too. I'm just curious. But anyway, so dude, they freaking went, and what did the UN do to the Libyan water system? Okay, the Great Man-Made River Project. They went in and they destroyed it with depleted uranium bombs that they dropped onto the wells. Okay, this is shocking. And they said that the trucks that were drilling the wells, which was like, have you ever seen a truck drill a well? It's got this big long thing on it that they use to drill into the ground. Well, the UN identified it or classified it as, they said it was missile trucks, and they bombed all these trucks. But again, the trucks were for drilling wells. So that not only did they destroy the wells that drilled and made this water, they bombed it with depleted uranium, so it's toxic, and they bombed the trucks. They destroyed all the infrastructure basically that was being used to drill. It's shocking. So, anyways, that's the Great Man-Made River Project. Now, the primary water cycle, if you drill down, there is an unlimited amount of fresh water, more than all of the Earth's oceans combined, under the ground. When an aquifer dries up, that is simply a surface amount of water. That is a surface holding tank for some of the water below. If you drill deep enough, you tap into unlimited water. Primary water cycle, look it up. They know about it. And it's shocking. 5 times the world's oceans of water, fresh water, underneath our feet, pure and clean. Same thing with oil. Oil is also unlimited. So they make you think that everything's finite, we're overpopulated, and everything's a shit show. But there's an unlimited amount of water beneath our feet, and there's an unlimited amount of oil as well. So it's all about scarcity. And then also think about the people, because I think about this because they DM me. Think about the people who have said, oh yeah, the banking thing too. Nora, that Gaddafi didn't want the Libyans under the control of the central banking system. That part is true as well. That's a significant part of the story. But the thing that's very interesting is that people get all the time like, oh, you're infertile, you've been diagnosed, you know, you're infertile and you're never going to be able to have kids and yada yada yada. But the funny thing is that that just means, I saw a whole post on it and I've been researching this for a while. If you're infertile, that just means your body's intelligence is saying that you're too toxic to be able to bear children right now. That's all that is. And yet again, people, you know, take the diagnosis and go, "Oh, I'm infertile now." No, no, no. You're temporarily, your body has paused its fertility because you got something else going on that you got to figure out first. And if you did have a kid, you know, the nutrients or whatever probably wouldn't quite be proper to what is required to be, you know, optimally healthy and whatnot. So that's the interesting thing. And again, that's why when you're taking potent superfoods like the hot water purified shilajit or the Tongkat Ali that's super pro fertile, it's absolutely shocking what happens. Not just because here's the thing, someone on here is like, well, I already had kids, I don't have any more kids. But it's not really necessarily about, put it this way, the ability to reproduce is an excellent barometer of health. So being fertile is a strong indicator of your health, whether or not you're planning on having kids or not. And so that is why it's important to be wanting to be fertile, even if you've already had your kids, etc. It's pro-fertile, hormone optimizing. And on top of that, if you're getting a bunch of these superfoods into you, it's a massive detoxifying, you know, you're getting the heavy metals out. And that's a big one too. Because here's the thing, and we talked about this on the last live. Heavy metals, shout out to Karma for real. Heavy metals are conductive. Duh. What happens when conductive metal particles are exposed to the electromagnetic frequencies, which are in the airways because of all these cell towers? That's another thing to think of. What the Sam Dam's going on when you have a bunch of conductive metal particles in you and they have the cell towers turned on, which is interacting. I know it's a freaky thought, man, but it is a real thing. It is absolutely real and shocking, and that's the importance. That's why I love detoxing too. The other reason is because all of a sudden you're able to get all this stuff out of you that otherwise is affecting your frequency, as Nikola Tesla knows all too well about. Um, and by the way, do you know that they burned his whole building that was doing all these studies in it, right? Nikola Tesla's building was demolished and destroyed because they didn't want people knowing that his studies were coming out. As he's publishing stuff about free energy, he's publishing stuff about superfoods and sorry, not superfoods. Actually, he probably knew a lot about superfoods, to be honest, but I don't know that for sure. But these guys, all these guys knew a ton of shit. When rabbits don't get what they want, that when they, oh wow, so she's, guys, Texas Food Systems is dealing with her rabbits right now, which by the way, my friend raises rabbits for meat and they're freaking delicious, better than chicken, and super easy to take care of, almost easier than chickens, in fact. And you get a lot of meat out of them too. But anyways, she says that when rabbits don't get what they need, they don't reproduce, they don't breed. They're if they're pregnant and malnourished, chickens won't lay eggs. That's right. And chickens underneath, uh, chickens that are illuminated with artificial lights get half of their lifespan is shortened, and they produce less eggs. Yeah, and they even they fight more. They're more aggressive, if you can believe that. They're more aggressive when they're getting exposed to this artificial lights. And this is the lights, by the way, that is affecting, that we're all exposed to, because they've mandated basically quote unquote energy efficient lights, which is LEDs and shit, which is horrible for your brain and your system and your endocrine system and your fertility and everything. And again, this is what they've put on us, and people aren't talking about it because it's considered like, dude, there's no normal person. I can tell you this 100% for certain. There is no normal person, and I say normal tongue in cheek, but no normal person thinks that the discussion of lighting is a worthwhile or important thing to be talking or thinking about. No one thinks that. No, it's just lights, man. Who cares? Meanwhile, when you find out that artificial lights fry your retinas, like literally kills your retina cells, it has effects on your retina, which affects your pineal gland, which affects your hormones, which affects your endocrine system. Affects. It's shocking, man. Another reason why you won't see me sitting under an LED light drinking fluoride with heavy metals in me. Instead, I'll be under incandescent bulbs, which, by the way, someone asked me, where can you buy them? Because they're banned. They are banned. But you can go on Facebook Marketplace, and every single Tom, Dick, and Harry who is replacing, or rather renovating their homes, the first thing they do is get rid of the incandescent bulbs. So I got like boxes and boxes of incandescent bulbs from Facebook Marketplace. Some are used, some are brand new, but boom, bang, bing, you got your freaking light bulbs if you want them. So, good question. The other thing that's shocking is the importance of calibrating your hormones from the exposure to these artificial lights. Because let's say, again, the average person, artificial lights at home, artificial lights at work, not much sunlight. If they are in sunlight, they're wearing sunglasses. This whole world basically, or the current society, I should say, not the world. The world, the natural world wants you to be healthy and has all these things in place to supercharge your human experience. But the, if you want to call it the satanic cult, they are what want you weak and messed up. And that's why it's so important to be boosting your system naturally. Look, Rudolph said we have lamps at work that had all LED lights. I changed all the bulbs to incandescent. You know what's funny? It does, like, the only thing they have on incandescents that's like bad is that they use more energy. It will cost you more to have your house full of incandescent bulbs than LED bulbs or LED light emitting diodes, which aren't bulbs, but they're sometimes in the shape of a bulb, but it's an LED. Or even worse, compact fluorescent. That stuff, I just bought a case of incandescent light bulbs from Amazon. Dude, that's awesome because apparently they're trying to not make it anymore. Um, but there's still, wait, no. RFK said we're going to bring back incandescents, I'm pretty sure. So maybe they will start producing them again. But keep in mind, the first guy who invented the incandescent bulb, you can make an incandescent bulb. You need some glass. Like, you could do it in a jar. You can make an incandescent light bulb in like a mason jar. You just need the little metal filing, the filament. You need some type of gas in there. No, that's not. Do you need argon gas in an incandescent? Someone explain to me the science of incandescence again. Shane Fanique said, what's also chalking is that I bought chalk today and I will be chalked. Dude, freaking sweet. Dude, Shane, shout out to Shane, man. What did you order, bro? What did you order right now? Tell me. Because right now, guys, if you didn't know, we're doing this amazing deal. So he must be getting the freebie as well. We're giving 26% off lifetime discount codes away. I think there's like 5 or 6 left. With this coupon here, it gives you a 26% off lifetime discount on any subscription or bundle. And then if you come back to the live, I'm going to throw in a $100 bag of chocolate powder in your order to the first like 6 people. Chalk said we could do that to 6. Shane just ordered, so he might have been getting that. He might get that from the Instagram side of things, not the live. But that's freaking amazing, dude. Congratulations. Does the blue drink? Someone's asking about the blue drink on my DMs, but absolutely amazing. Congrats, man. He got the freaking Chad mode. So he's about to be detoxing polystyrene chemicals from his blood. He's going to be feeling like $1,000,000. Nora, how much is there a delay? Because I asked you that question like 10 minutes ago. So holy shit skis. What's going on? Let me just refresh the Rumble here to see what kind of delay are we talking about. That's only like 30 seconds, but maybe, oh, you know what it is? Again, it's because Rumble fucking has like this huge delay because it gives you ads. Anyway, it is the ultimate spot to look at the lives because it's uncensored and we won't be, in trouble on there. But the ads and the delay is kind of annoying, I will say. But you could spend, I think, what is it? I don't recommend, or I don't think you need to, but for $10 you can get ad-free viewing experience. I'd sooner pay Rumble $10 a month than I would YouTube. That is for sure. for obvious reasons. YouTube, 203 is my timestamp. Okay, hold on a second. Hold on. Okay, dope. That's good. Oh yes, I have to check that. Bing, bang, bing. Only with messages. Oh, so the messages perhaps are delayed. Okay, okay. Boom. Bing, bing. Hold on a second. Stand by. Kind of want to see that. Guys, comment below. I do want to know where everyone is coming from, by the way. Like where you're tuning in from, I mean. What do we got? 205. Okay, so maybe there's like a minute delay or so, Nora. Nora, just keep commenting so I can make sure that I don't miss any of your questions and whatnot. Oh, shout out to Rob. Rob, what's going on, man? So the other crazy thing, guys, do you remember? Okay, one time, I'm just gonna tell you a quick story, okay? One time I was on Instagram and you won't believe this. I shared a post, or sorry, I sent a picture into a private group chat on Instagram. And it was a picture of Michelle Obama from Google Images. Okay. And I got a notification in my notifications, which is weird. Very weird. I got a notification in my notifications that the image I shared, which I didn't really share, I posted it, or I guess I shared it in the fucking group, but I didn't post it. Anyway, I got a notification as if I had posted it, and I actually got worried for a second, thinking, "Oh fuck." But they said to me, "The image you shared is false. It has been like digitally altered, and it's false or something." And this is the image that I shared privately in the DMs, if you can believe that. So they're monitoring DMs. They're absolutely seemingly monitoring DMs, which is very, very strange, or at least algorithmically. At least algorithmically. And even that is kind of weird. That means not everything is so safe, even if you're just secretly, privately DMing it. The other thing that's crazy, though, and guys, by the way, Michelle Obama in a video yesterday was just talking to some guy and said, well, you know what? That fucking conspiracy is old as sand, but it is crazy. Yo, Shane, I already know all about them, man. As soon as you said that, I know exactly who that is. I've done a bit of due diligence myself in some of that research of what happened during past wars and everything. And what do they say? All wars are bankers' wars, and there's a bit of an angle there, 100%. It's a little bit hairy, to be honest. And then the interesting thing is that in some places, it's like unlawful to question certain historical happenings, which I think is a total erosion of our freedom, obviously, our freedom of speech, our freedom of thought. And you know what's crazy too? Someone posted this and they said that, listen to this. They said that a hate speech or hate law, hate crime, right, is technically a thought crime because hate is not a action, right? It's not a physical thing. It's not assault. Assault is a whole nother thing. But hate is a thought, is a strong feeling, it's an emotion. So a hate crime sounds a lot like actually a thought crime, if you've ever thought of it like that. And I thought that was very, very interesting when someone pointed that out. And so when they pass these hate speech laws, you may think, or hate crime, whatever, you may think that that it's like, oh, like they're looking out for, they're just making sure no one's too mean. But that is absolutely not the case. It's in fact something much more devious and perhaps part of a more serious agenda than many people realize, um, What else we got? That's exactly, yeah, wrong think, exactly. Because, like, for example, if they're passing these hate speech laws, right, and you say like you don't like Monsanto, and Monsanto, uh, is bad. Let's say you don't like Monsanto. Well, the hate laws that they are passing is like anything that makes someone feel negative about certain groups or people. Well, if you don't like Monsanto, that's a group of people that maybe, is that considered hateful to not like Monsanto and GMOs? It's a slippery slope. I don't think we need any of those. I think what we actually need are laws that restrict politicians from being able to trade stocks because they're all insider trading all the time, making millions and millions of dollars from passing laws and legalities that are not beneficial to the populace. And, people are asking about Trump. Like, I got called a pro Trumper or whatever the other day. And it's funny because, dude, first thing, if you actually follow my page, you don't see there's no like, woo, Trumpy. But I do think that that was a better choice than Kamala. But I just don't really think that any of this stuff really is what is moving the needle. I don't think I think it's a total inside kind of inside job, and that it's like throw the rock and hide the hand kind of thing. Oh yeah, I smell that. We got something baking right now. Yeah, so anyway, very shocking, and it makes you wonder where exactly all this is going. But I just don't think that the solutions to any of our problems are going to come in the form of a politician or a policy. It would have to be from people who choose that this is, enough's enough kind of thing. And what would that look like? I think what it would ultimately look like, I'm just looking at the chat, by the way, guys. I think what that would ultimately look like is what would piss them off the most, right? It would be if we stopped paying taxes. That's their main, system of control over us, and the main, thing that they like to do, or the thing that like fuels them, basically. And so that would be the ultimate, and even, or better yet, you know what? Even less people could do that would make even bigger of a difference if the people refused to work for the IRS. How many people work for the IRS? Well, apparently they're going to hire 80,000 more people to like police PayPal or something. Do you guys remember that? But now I don't know how many it is, but all I know is that it wouldn't take too many people refusing to work for the IRS to completely stop all that. You know what I mean? So that's my thought, is just don't even abolish the IRS, just refuse to work for them. I mean, and for me, like the CRA, if no one in Canada worked for the CRA, which is our version of the IRS, then what the hell are they going to do? Then it's even easier than not paying taxes. There's no one to pay taxes to. The CRA is closed. Jack Stew said, I actually have a legal way to stop paying taxes. Dude, so you guys may have heard over the years of what do they call it? Sovereign citizens, right? And basically, I'll give you the gist of it. Yeah, the Federal Reserve was illegal. That's right. And it's not federal and it's not a reserve. And yeah, there's no reserves and there's no federal to it. It's a private corporation. Did you know that? The Federal Reserve is not federal and it doesn't have any reserves. It's a total play on words. It's a psyop, basically. And it's unlawful. Like, what does it say in the Constitution? Do you guys remember what it says in the Constitution about income tax? Like, a man shall not be taxed on his personal labor or something like that. That's what it was supposed to be, but unfortunately, of course, we are far past that, and now it's like what, 50% of people's money or more. Like in Canada now, there's a fucking tax where well, first thing, there's a death tax. I think the death tax, any country that allowed their government to tax them when they die, is the most effed up thing you can possibly fathom. Like, they work their whole lives, they pay taxes their whole lives, and then when they bite it, you tax them one more time, and then you also tax them if they you know make any money on any, like they bought a house. Oh, well, you're gonna have to pay for that one a few times, actually, not just when you bought it, the sales tax and all that, but all these other taxes. Anyway, enough about taxes. I know we could complain about it all day, but the thing is that we should stop paying them. That's their ultimate thing. If even 20% of the population united and said, okay, I'm not paying taxes, what are they gonna do, dude? They don't have enough anything to be able to stop that. And I'm not about to lead a revolution of let's all not pay taxes. Like I'm not the first one to think of that, but something needs to be fucking done, man, because we're paying taxes to did you guys see what Doge figured out? Um that's awesome. In Texas, they don't tax your life insurance. Holy shit, that's freaking awesome. Where is it that it's illegal to tax a lottery if you win the lottery? Is that Texas too or the States? Let me know if there's a place, because I'm pretty sure there is, where you don't pay taxes if you win the lottery. Now, you're never gonna fucking win the lottery, but that is cool. Um, anyways, we do have to figure something out, man. Because again, oh yeah, so Doge. Did you hear this? Doge figured out. Doge is the Department of Government Efficiency, and Elon Musk is behind it. And it could be full of baloney. But what's interesting is that they figured out that like $50 million of US taxpayers' dollars was spent on teaching some stay in touch on it. All right. So much love, everyone. Thank you all for joining. We got 20 on YouTube. We got freaking 30 or 40 on Mr. Whatchamacallit. Um Rumble is booming as well. Anyway, we'll see you guys on the next live. Much love, everyone, and I'm looking forward to seeing you then.